Welcome to the Overcome Podcast. Yo, what's up?
What up?
Dustin Dubs, Rob Hall. Welcome to the Overcome Podcast. What's going on, man?
You know, man, let's do this. Just hanging out. It's a beautiful Sunday. Just got
Good.
home doing a little walk with the family. So, you know,
Good, yeah.
ready to rock and roll and help all you guys out with some wonderful information.
That's right. I'm all settled in. Look how good I look in this fucking lighting.
Hey, yeah, man. Wow. You look really good. I know that apartment.
I hate you so much. So we're gonna go over a few different things, some cool stuff here. I think one we're gonna talk about compound versus isolation movements.
Yeah.
Nutrition, a little bit tidbits of that. Trying to over push your body, and we're gonna finish off with some random spicy questions that was sent to DMs here. So we'll go and get started. All right, so first topic up here we have compound versus isolation movements and when to use them, which one's best, which would you prefer?
Yeah.
So if we were going to pick a movement here for, let's say we're doing powerlifters wise, what would you go with?
And compound movements for powerlifters, bench, squat, deadlift.
Basically, bench, squat, deadlift.
Yeah, if you're doing specifically powerlifting, your compound movements are going to be the bench, squat, and the deadlift.
Bingo. That's the simplest fucking answer you can go with. This stuff is isolation is definitely going to be accessory work for helping build up weak points and making those compound lifts stronger.
Yeah.
So it's not really complicated to do. So
no.
A lot of your secondary movements are usually going to be compound movements or variations of compound movements also.
Yeah.
Those are very beneficial.
Yeah, secondary compound movements are really important to add in, but some people get carried away with doing too many secondary compound movements. You know, you look at a program, they'll have 3, almost 4 like compound pressing movements. You know, they might have a bench press and then a secondary bench press variation. Then maybe they might do barbell overhead press and then finish off with close grip bench press. That's 4 compound movements right there for pressing, and that's a lot.
So for bench press, what would you say would be a good amount of compound pressing movements for bench press?
When I program for people and even myself, I usually like to do one main compound movement and usually a secondary one, depending on the people though. Sometimes I might give them 3. You know, they might do a compound movement that's their main specific work, bench press, and then they'll do like a secondary bench press variation where they drop some weight, and then they might do some other variation like a close grip bench or wide grip bench or whatever, bench with chains or something like that at the end. But usually it's about 2 movements.
Yeah. Normally I have about 2. Normally I have a compound movement. I have a speed movement. Every so often I might have a third one, and that one may be something like pin press, but it's all set with speed bench. So I'm doing a pin press with speed bench, or something of that nature. For squats, what would you go with for squats?
Squats, I mean, obviously, you know, when it comes to powerlifting, tempo squats and pod squats are like, you know, they're a big crop, but nothing's going to be just doing straight up squats. So for compound movement, always hit your back squats. And then I like to follow up with either doing tempo pod squats or, you know, some sort of tempo work. But a lot of times I might even do some speed squat work with or without chains or bands, stuff like that. But usually it's just 2 compound movements when it comes to squat.
Yeah, normally I have about 2 or 3. Normally I got my main compound movement, and then I have a speed movement and then a pause movement usually for me. But other than that, it doesn't get too much complicated doing it for squats. Deadlifts is the same.
Deadlifts.
Compounds, deadlift, and then speed deadlifts. And every so often I have deficits or something else that's in there with deadlift, but it's usually about 2 with deadlifts.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, deadlifts I like to do some sort of a squat variation first, and I like to do it light, fairly light, either like speed squats or something squat wise, but it's even half field squats, whatever. And then I like to go with the main deadlift work and then either speed deadlifts or some deadlift variation. But unless the person, you know, requests it, I'll go with just deadlift if they don't want the squats. But I like to use squats for a primer for deadlift.
Yeah, I agree. For bodybuilding wise, I also think this is interesting because I don't think you necessarily have to have a compound movement, especially not for squat, bench, and deadlift, to have a good program for one, or build
No.
up a lot of muscle growth.
No. Yeah, you don't. I mean, even when I was at my peak in my size doing my bodybuilding, you know, we didn't barbell back squat that often. It was maybe every other week that we'd come in and squat, and we would only do our body weight. So what we did for quite a while was we just went in on every other Tuesday it was, and our leg workout was quads that day, and our squat would every other week would be just your body weight for 4 sets of 10 to 20 reps. So you'd hit anywhere no less than 10, no more than 20. So the goal was always to get 20 reps. So it was 24. That's 80 total reps at your body weight on the bar, and that is as much as we would do. We wouldn't do any more than that. Bench press we hardly ever did. We always did, you know, some sort of machine or dumbbells was the main thing we always did when we were bodybuilding. And then deadlift we didn't really do that often. And I don't ever remember doing maxes with deadlift. I just remember doing sets of 10, 15s, and 20s just to build big back. And rack pulls was our big thing.
Yeah. So mine was definitely different. I squatted all the time. I had to squat every week.
And we should have
Sometimes
squatted more.
twice a week.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, I got big ass legs, and that's
Man. I mean, we did a lot of heavy leg press. That's what I felt like gave me my big legs was big leg press work.
Yeah, so I always had squats in there. Leg press was probably a secondary or the third movement, and I would fucking not max out with weight on the leg press.
Yeah,
I would do shit tons of reps on it. That was one of the keys, was to always keep the legs up and then do as many reps as possible, or do something that was for an extended period of time with leg press. It was miserable,
dude. I remember doing it was this Arnold. It was called the Arnold squat workout, and it was a bunch of supersets. And this was back in 2004 and 5 that I was doing this workout. It was in a muscle magazine, and it said it was Arnold's killer leg workout. So, you know, at the time, I was the head, basically strength. What do you want to call? I was like the weight room supervisor for my high school. So me and my kids I worked out with, we went up and did that. And I threw up doing that workout. And looking back on it, I shouldn't have been doing it as heavy as I was trying to do it at. And it was a killer workout. But I'm telling you, with bodybuilding, you know, it's all about the amount of volume, do the reps you do, stuff like that. It's not necessarily doing like all squats all the time. But I will tell you, squats will help get your legs bigger faster.
Yeah. And I didn't deadlift either. Maybe once a month, but because I didn't know where to put it between for legs or back.
Yeah.
Because I'd use both. I did conventional, so it felt like it was both, and it would to go heavy in it. It would like mess up my squats, and then it would tire up my back. So I didn't do it very much, but if I did it, it was once a month, and I would place my squats with the deadlift workout, and then do hack squats as a secondary for that instead. So
yeah, no, dude. And that speaking of that, hack squats are one of my favorite ones to do. I mean, shit. I know hack squats are one that I feel like a bitch doing because I can't do a ton of weight. I think the last week when I did it, I only had two plates on each side, and there's guys putting 4 or 5 plates on there. And I'm like, ooh, not me.
Yeah, it doesn't take much, and you could do different feet placement variations, and fuck, it would be killer. I used to do the shit plats.
Yeah.
We're getting on the toes and then pushing the knees forward out. And oh my! I used to do that to get that big stretch in there, and I hated them so
brutal.
much.
Brutal.
Oh my god, ridiculous.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, the biggest thing that always got me the most was like just, you know, I really like doing the 20 rep sets on squat. And when we did them for our body weight, I mean, one time I only weighed like 230. So I mean, 230 wasn't crazy amount if you're fairly strong, but we didn't squat all the time. But for some reason, it didn't feel like a lot of weight. And I really wondered to myself back then, like, I wonder what my 1 rep maxes would have been. So
yeah. So I would taper all the time. So my deal would go from like, 15, 12, 10, 8, 6. And then there would be that one time every so often I might do a double or a single of like something really big. So I never bench pressed over 500. I always stopped at 495. Stuff up to 495, and then like, okay, am I getting a double, triple, single? Yeah. I would just stick to that, and I never knew what my max was after that. I just went up to 5 places, and that was it.
It's amazing how strong we could have been thinking back then, because I trained really hard. So
yeah, way too much.
I definitely overtrained back then.
All right, so we'll move on to the nutrition side of that.
All right.
I got a question in about a guy asked the best advice to lose 40 pounds. And I can give you some worse advice. Don't eat. I remember I did that. I dropped 50 pounds by basically only eating a serving size of things.
Yeah,
Shit
not
like
good.
trail mix, shakes, and I would
Yep.
oh my God, it was miserable. I was hungry all the time. And I would just, for a meal, I'd have like trail mix and shit. And like, this is way back when, before I got into nutrition and lifting
Yeah.
super hard and shit.
Yeah, this is before like we really got educated on what to do. Yeah, because I know when I was trying to do all my bulking, I was drinking a half gallon of milk every day.
Oh, yeah.
So I was in work release I was just getting out of prison, got moved to work release center, and every morning we stopped at this gas station before we went to our job. My job was out at this place called Camp Ashland, it's a military base in Nebraska. Every morning we stop at Casey's General Store gas station. I get my half gallon of milk and like a bunch of deli meat. And that's what I would eat besides our given meals. And dude, I believe I became lactose intolerant by drinking that much milk every day. Because as human beings, we're not supposed to be drinking dairy as it is.
At least not the dairy that they put out, yeah.
Yes, we're not supposed to be drinking that. So, I just did a number on my system. But honestly, when it comes to losing weight, it's all about what you're eating. I tell people all the time, if you're someone who drinks sodas or you eat a lot of sugar or you drink dairy or eat gluten or stuff like that, those are one thing that you can take out that will kickstart your weight loss.
Oh,
Just change one thing.
Big
Don't
time.
try to change a ton of stuff. Change one freaking thing. One thing. And then start with that. Once you get good at eliminating that, pick the next thing. Yeah. But I promise you, if you're someone who drinks a lot of pop, cut the pop out and you'll lose weight right away.
Yeah, so cutting out sugars is almost an immediate change. After you can go from Monday to Friday and drop 10 pounds just by not eating sugars or all that candy and junk food by that all by itself.
If you're someone who eats a lot of candy and you have a sweet tooth, switch to fruit, pineapples, oranges. I know it sounds cheesy, but it freaking works, man.
Oh yeah.
If you're someone who eats a lot of candy during your workout, switch to fruit.
Yeah. So that's what I do. Even when I was doing my shitty diet, I ate a bunch of fruit instead of a bunch of junk candy, and that also helps. So it was a bunch of crap and nuts and berries, basically. It wasn't much. But whenever I decided to get into eating, like nutrition-wise, I was eating, I think it was 6 solid meals and 2 shakes a day, right? And like I went from 205 to like 225. But I looked 10 times better than I did when I was at the 200 pounds. And I was just jacked solid. And I was like, you know what? I need to actually bulk for real because I'm tired of being small. I was always a big guy. So being 220 pounds was like, it was weird.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me add some extra stuff in here. So I would add in some extra cheat meals into that. Boy, I went from that 220 up to 280. I basically was gradually putting on almost 30 pounds a year. Not 30 pounds of muscle, but 30 pounds a year.
Just 30 pounds.
30 pounds a year for the next 3 years. And man, it was insane. Because I started around like 2011 or so. So around 2014, 15 is whenever I started powerlifting, right? So I gradually got up to basically 290.
Yeah.
290. Right,
and that's gaining that much weight it's pretty fast. You gain it pretty fast. So, your body, it's kind of hard on your body as well and everything else when you gain that amount of weight, period. And I mean, you weren't gaining just muscle. You were gaining, body fat, water weight, and muscle on top of everything.
But the way I was training, though, I was eating so many calories to compensate for and eat. So it's not like it was too much of bad weight, but damn, I put on the size every year.
You gained pretty much a balance of all of it.
Yeah. So I would just every year I'd get up to a certain weight, I'd get a plateau. I cut it back some, drop it down a little bit, and then all of a sudden I'd bulk back up, and then boom, an extra weight back up. Cut down, boom. Plateau. I keep doing that every year. So like now I'm 320, 324. So like every so often when you see me cut down, the bulk is going to be nasty when I go back into it. So I'm like, let me add this back in, boom, boom, and it's up. So eating properly, right? If you get your macros correct, even if your basic generic macros, and you first track like, hey, how much am I eating every day for a week? These are my macros, my weekly average. Take that weekly average and just subtract 250 calories from it just to start. Just to give you a little start. So you're not taking away too much. You're still used to what you're eating. And then you take another 250 out in a week or two. And so if you're still dropping weight off of that negative 250, keep it like that until you plateau. And then when you plateau, take a little bit more off.
Yeah.
A little bit more off.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
easiest way to do that.
and that's the thing. And that's like you're saying. It's you said a keyword. They're easy. You want to find the easiest way to do things. You don't want to overcomplicate it. Like I know some people need to constantly have. They need to be doing something different all the time. When it comes to your eating and nutrition, you got to kind of be repetitive with it at the start until you can build some better habits. You know what I mean? Like that's what it's all about. So I would really suggest just picking one thing, changing that to start, whether it is if you're someone who doesn't get enough protein in, start getting enough protein in. If you're drinking too much pop or this or that, use a lot of processed foods or eat out a lot, try to stop eating out a lot, like try to just substitute by making your food. It's all hard, but you just got to choose a couple things here, one thing here, change that, then this thing, then that thing. It just snowballs. Yeah. But doing it all at once is not going to happen.
One thing is to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Write down, because I don't eat that much, right? Write down every time something goes into your mouth that you eat, write it down.
Yes. Because you'll be surprised.
And then you'll see like, okay, dang, I snacked on this, I snacked on that, I ate this, I ate this.
And you ate more snacks than you actually did of good food too. And that's a big problem.
That's usually the problem.
Get more protein in, eat a lot of healthy fats. And I know people will laugh at eating organic and the gluten-free and all that stuff, but I promise you people, like it does make a difference on your freaking system. Like all this stuff isn't just bullshit. Like I promise you, like someone who's got a lot of acne, take out the gluten. You might start getting rid of your acne. Same thing with dairy. You're probably just getting a lot of inflammation because dairy and gluten causes inflammation in our bodies. So
it just tastes like ass. I'd rather eat ass than fucking eat gluten.
Yeah, fuck that gluten, man. Fuck that shit. Stick to the bootay.
All right, we're gonna move on to our next main topic, man. That's over pushing your body.
Yeah.
We both got a couple stories here. Sure. You want me to go? Or you want to go?
Oh, you go first.
Oh, oof. All right. So I'm one of those guys that I definitely train hard, and like when I was training back for bodybuilding, 6 days a week, almost 7, balls to the wall all the time. Powerlifting was basically no different, just changing how often I would go to the gym, but still a ton of volume and still balls to the wall when I train with intensity. So one instance where I pushed myself way too fucking much. This was 2017.
Oh, yeah.
So right after I went Boss of Bosses 3, 2016, total 22-26, I was on a high. So mind you, before I spent about 10 weeks on gear going up to that meet. So I go into the next meet in February, right? I'm still coasting up.
Yeah.
Here. So I go.
You're on the rise.
On the rise. I break the American total record, 22:10. Boom. I'm still on the higher end of the gear.
Yep.
Then I go into the cage and I total 2,005 pounds in 33 seconds. Still up there.
Yep. Ride that wave.
So that wave. So that's at least almost 20 weeks right there on its own. Whew. So I was supposed to do the U.S. Open 2017. Right. I've been training hard as fuck. I just squatted, I think 855 in reps. Nobody's seen it. This was late night at the gym. I never posted it. Yeah. I think I pulled 840. I might have posted that one. And I benched 590 right before that deal, getting prepped up right before I was getting to my peak of that meet.
Yeah.
And that's when the shit hit the fan. After this squat, one of the heavy squat days, I think it was probably about 3 weeks out. Right, I had upped the gear for so long.
Yeah,
it's already started. But
that's already pushing your body.
What my diet was out of fucking control because I needed to eat and compensate the calories, and I was also working this job as a car salesman all day long, and I could eat certain meals. So my meals had to be big, and sometimes they had to be quick. I was eating shit tons of pasta, tons of fast food. And I was eating junk and garbage all day long, just to that car salesman lifestyle. I was eating so much shit food.
I remember those days.
Chicken Alfredo was my main deal because I could pack in tons of calories into this meal. My containers were like this big, packed full of pasta and chicken.
Just eating carbs after carbs after carbs.
And I was just trying to fuel that vessel. And I remember this squat where I think I was going to go for like 860 or so on a squat. And this one is probably about like 3 weeks out or so. And I felt like my hamstring popped.
Yeah.
I couldn't get out the hole, had a racket or whatever. I was like, what the fuck's going on right now? So the next following week, I'm starting to feel queasy, like gross. I was like, okay, maybe it's all the fast food to eat because I'm eating fucking double doubles, chocolate milkshakes, animal style fries, anything I could pack on extra calories, I would throw on extra just
Right.
to more because I wanted to be a beefy, bulky 315, and I was only like 295 every time I could eat it. So I was just up in the weight. Boom, I was getting up 300, 305. I was getting at 310. I was like, damn, I'm adding all this weight too fast.
And pushing your body hard.
Whew. So the next week I go into bench 600 in training. I fucking miss it. I was like, what the fuck's going on? I mean, all the hate for the day was just a bunch of in and out. And I fucking, I felt great. But as soon as I got up to here, I was just like, boom. And I was like, man, what the fuck's going on? My fucking trend was out of control. It was way up there. I think it was probably around like 800 milligrams.
Trend's harsh.
It was almost 800 that week because it was like 2 weeks out.
Yep.
So I upped it up to like 800. The test was around like 1200, but I was also doing T&E before workout. So that was an extra 300, almost 400 a week.
And you don't realize your test is already through the roof, bro. Just way too high. And your estrogen probably wasn't really doing it because were you taking anti-estrogen or not?
Not as much as I should have been.
Well, actually, you probably did the good thing. When you're running so much gear, you don't want to take a lot of anti-estrogen because if you take a lot of anti-estrogen, your test is going to go like this and your estrogen goes down. So then when all the anger stuff, the roid rage type things, that's when that type of shit happens. You're so irritated.
I had this oral stuff I was taking. I just couldn't take it anymore. I stopped taking it because it was just, not only did I was already feeling queasy, but this shit tastes like fucking Everclear and gasoline. I had to put in orange juice and shit. I was like, I got to stop drinking this shit.
Yeah.
So I get to that deal. I missed the 600. And I was like, man, what the fuck's going on right now? I feel like fucking shit. So I'm about 2 weeks out. And then we go to In-N-Out again. I get food. We're watching The Walking Dead. So it's had to be a Friday or so. And I start having fucking hiccups during the show. So for an hour long, I had the hiccups for an hour.
Oof.
What the fuck's going on? I was like, I don't know what's going on. So I go to fucking sleep. I still got the hiccups, so I'm going to sleep. So I wake up, I get the hiccups again. And I got so much, I was like, what the fuck's going on? It started making me gag and I threw up.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, that's fucking weird.
Super weird.
The hiccups went away. So okay, that's weird. So I go to the next day, Saturday, Sunday, and I'm eating my shit ton of food again. That following Monday, I'm getting to almost a week and a half out. That Friday, I'll be a week out or so from the meet. I start getting hiccups again. I was like, what the fuck's going on? So I stopped eating as much shit because maybe I'm overeating. Because that's why I was shoveling food in my face to the point I was disgusted. I was just eating.
Well, yeah, and that's also what we were taught to do back in the day, was just stuff till we couldn't eat it anymore.
Right, so I can put on more stuff. So I did scaled it back some. I still got the hiccups every time I was eating a meal, even if it was a normal size portion.
Your body was hating you at that point.
And once I get the hiccups again, about 10 minutes or so, I throw up, and I was like, "What the fuck's going on?" So my workout for that whole week was fucking awful. They were dreadful, heavy.
Your body was under a lot of stress.
So that Friday I get ready to book my plane ticket on Friday. The meet's next week. I was like, okay, cool. So I went from 310 down to 298 by that Friday.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, if I could just hold on to this weight, I'll be fine for the meet next week. I'll be fine. I'll be cool. So that Friday I booked my plane ticket, and I'm not even eating very much at this point. I'm eating fucking soup, because soup is easy. I wouldn't get hiccups for. I'm eating peaches out of a can, so I wouldn't get hiccups.
Yeah.
So Saturday rolls around. I get the hiccups again. I'm like, what the fuck? I throw up constantly all day long. And I'm just constantly throwing up all day long. So by the time Sunday comes around, I'm miserable. I'm just laying in bed. I'm like, what the fuck's going on right now?
Your body's breaking down.
I couldn't eat anymore by Sunday. So I started drinking just water. So I'm down to like 290, almost 287.
Yeah.
I'm just drinking water. I start drinking water, and then guess what happens?
Throw up.
The hiccups again. Gotta throw up.
Yeah.
I was like, what the? I was so pissed because I was so ready for this meet. I was so mad at myself. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And then I got a bunch of like shit to help me with my digestion, my acid reflux. I felt like I was having also. I think it was like Prilosec or whatever. And then Monday, I was so miserable. Monday, I was like, okay, I can't do it. I gotta pull out. So I had to pull out the meat. And I spent the next 2 weeks so miserable of not being able to eat stuff. I went just completely off of the gear.
Yeah.
And just getting off that week, everything just started clearing up, and I was like, oh my God.
It was the gear.
I was doing fucking way too. I wasn't even thinking about it because I just did all those 2 meets, the cage, all that stuff, and I was just like, I fucking didn't even.
Yeah, you thought just like all these other guys think that the gear was helping you. You thought that the gear was. There's no way it's making me weak. Something else is going on.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's what I tell guys. More is not better, dude. Pushing your gear limits are not good because that's what happens. You become lethargic. Your body starts breaking down. It can't recover. Your receptors are fried. You're just fucked and then you get to your meet and you're like. I'll see guys too. They'll be like beet red while they're at their meet, and they can barely breathe, and they're wheezing, and their blood pressure is so fucking high because they're just pushing it too hard. You can't do that.
I was miserable going up the stairs. I feel like I was just like, I felt like my blood was trying to get out of my skin.
Yeah, your body. There was so much toxin in your body, and too, some of the gear you were probably using wasn't the best either. It was probably so who knows what was going on. But that's a big thing too. That's why, like, if you look at the best lifters and athletes out there, not just guys that are super strong, but like the best long-term athletes, they keep their hormones optimal. They check their blood. They make sure they're not this too high or they're this. They make sure there's testosterone to estrogen balance constantly. There needs to be a ratio. It needs to stay like that. If you're going to go up test, estrogen's got to go up. You go down, it's got to go down. And that's what happens. 2 guys take way too much fucking gear. Boom, body says, nope, fuck it, I'm going to blow up. You blow up from the inside out.
God, that was fucking everything. It got to the point where like, cause I was all whole milk, eggs, everything, all that was in my diet. So I went just off of everything. Just ate soup, crackers, and fucking fruits. And then until I could start eating normal meals. And then once I started eating normal meals, I couldn't drink whole milk anymore.
Yeah,
I couldn't have fucking whole eggs anymore.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? So I had to gradually start putting that. I can eat eggs now. I don't do whole milk. I do regular whole milk now. I do, I think like 10% with lactose or whatever.
Fuck it. There's oat milk. They have oat milk out there now that's like extra creamy. I fucking love it.
Yeah, I think I do lactose free 2% milk, and that's every so often I might have it.
Yeah.
I don't drink it now, and it's like I feel so much better now, and I'm at a heavier weight. I don't have to eat crap ton of food. I mean, I don't eat crap anymore, but I still eat junk.
Yeah.
Every so often, but damn, I don't eat like I was before. No. I feel 10 times better. The gear's not high.
Yes.
It's not high because like I was like, okay, I know how much I can take, but I don't have to.
You don't have to. You don't need to take so much gear to be fucking strong.
No.
Your body's going to be strong regardless. It's about optimizing your hormones. Everybody, optimizing your hormones, not, hey, I'm going to fucking do 1,000 grams of test, 1,000 grams of tren. And then I got guys that'll be like, oh, I'm going to take all this DECA. And I'm like, well, did you know that DECA lowers your testosterone? So if you're taking 1,000 tests and 1,000 DECA, it's just going to be a wash.
Yeah.
It's a waste. It's like I don't get why people need to pump their bodies full of shit. Like I get people think that something's wrong with me because I'm not as big as I was, but I'm also not on steroids 24/7. Yeah. I'm not taking anything right now. I'm trying to be healthy is what I'm trying to be.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, of course I'm only going to weigh my natural body weight, which is around 220.
It's gross.
I know. I'm not walking around at 250, 240, whatever.
And whenever I come off now, like my natural body weight is still around 290, 300.
Yeah, dude.
This is how much I eat.
You've been a big guy for a very long time.
This is normally how I eat. So to me, like you'll just never see much of a change from me. Sorry.
No.
You'll never know what's going on over here. It's definitely not going to be high anymore. Like at the most, if it's 1,000, maybe, but just coast around 250 to 500 and shit.
I dread even having to take the shot half the damn time. I'm like another one. Oh my god! I just did one 10 days ago.
And sometimes to me, it's like I'll skip it. Like especially if it's on a reload week, I'll fucking skip it.
Yeah, you're like, fuck it.
I'm like, I don't fucking. Do I really need it fucking for this week? No.
I know the last meet I did, I fucked my whole. I was like just taking tests, and then I got some liquid or oral D-ball. I didn't even take the D-ball, and then I fucking just took the test. And I didn't even take my shots like I was supposed to. I'm like, shit.
It's just like, man, I
yeah, whatever.
That shit's so annoying. I already take fucking enough supplements. I just was like, you know what?
But and that speaking of that too, like honestly, man, like I tell people too, like if you can go get your levels tested, get some testosterone prescribed for you, which you can nowadays. Like it's so easy. Just go to T clinics. You can get your test prescribed to you for fucking cheap. Just take that. It's gonna beat out all those other fucking supplements you fucking take.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like people pumping all this shit. They spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars of supplements a month. Dude, just take some tests. Oh shit! It'll change your fucking whole life.
You get a bottle of SARMs that's $85.
Oh my God, SARMs.
They supply. I'm like,
so dumb.
Like, what the fuck, dude? Just get a fucking 20, 30 bottle of test,
bro.
The same shit, way better.
I remember when test was like $120 a bottle.
Whew.
Yeah, dude, it was like 10 years ago. I can't imagine what it was 20 years ago.
It's gotta have the right hookups.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on to the spicy question round.
Yeah.
Which is just gonna be a segue into what we just basically talked about, because the guy want to know for a beginner and to do, which test would you want to take, test SIP versus test sustenance? And this is definitely not a hard question to answer.
No, dude.
SIP is
all
SIP
day.
or innate.
Yeah,
is going to be the easiest one to take. Sust, it just has so many different levels of
too many esters,
and it's like you don't know what you're going to get, whatever it says on it. You don't know what it's going to get, when it's going to kick in, when it's going to end.
Yeah. You're going to be like this. It's going to, because what they're wanting it to do is, since it's got a little bit of the long ester in it, and it's got, so much short ester in it, they're hoping that they're going to be able to give you this like steadiness of it, and then like a peak, just like a blast of it. You get this like, it's like fast acting, while the slow acting, the fast acting is your quick rise, and then you taper with the long ester stuff. But the problem is it ends up doing a lot of this. You're not steady. You end up being all over the fucking place. And honestly, I know like a lot of people, I'm sure people are going to say I'm wrong, whatever, but Sustanon is, you don't need to fucking get Sustanon. Just take test SIP or test enanthate. Take either a full CC once a week, or take a certain amount, a half CC here and there, every like 3 or 4 days. That's going to be a good route to go. And that'll keep you more like this. Yeah. It's all about keeping testosterone and estrogen at a level. You don't want this to be like this, or like this. You want to be at test estrogen. If it goes up, it goes up. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, because a lot of the problem is like, right? I prefer taking mine once a week anyway. But if I have T&E, that's going to help me get a little bit more balance too. But if you take it like on a Sunday and then a Wednesday, you'll get more out of it because now it's balanced between them.
Yeah, you're kind of while you're getting the yes.
So.
And that's the thing too, guys. You don't need to take an anti-estrogen every day. That's why, if you are someone who can't figure out why you're always irritable, or, why am I irritated all the time, or I feel like when I'm edgy, or some guys will tell me, oh, I can't take Tren because it gives me anxiety. Well, also, you're probably taking Tren and Test and something else, and then you're probably taking a lot of Nolvadex or Arimidex or something at the wrong times or too often. So your estrogen's too low, your test is woo, and then you're just when you need to keep it here. So you're just kind of like, meh.
It's funny when you got those guys that you go fucking crazy, post all this crazy shit for the meet, and
yeah.
Meet comes, and then I'm out of gear, I'm out of a coach.
Yeah, you see them hit these fucking crazy numbers. You're like, oh man, that dude's killing it, and then they hit their meet, and then all of a sudden they disappear, and you don't see them for a long time because they took their gear. They think they need to run this like, oh, I'm running a 24-week fucking cycle right now, and it's like, okay,
yeah. Bro.
See, watch this guy fucking fall off the face of the earth.
This is always chicks too. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, chicks, man, you ladies, stop fucking being crazy with your cycles. Like, yes, it's important for you to take some testosterone or like Anavar because it's good for you to have your tests anyway. Women need to have testosterone in their body. They're naturally have it as it is. Women taking birth control, it kills your fucking test. It drops it down. That's why you have a lot of weight gain and emotional problems is because you have so much estrogen and no test because you're fucking the whatever you're taking birth control wise. So, you know, but you don't need to be taking 100 milligrams, 200 milligrams testosterone a week and then Anavar on top of it because then you got a test level like a dude. And it's like, no wonder why your hair's growing in your face and your clit's swollen up and you know what I mean?
That's
like,
fine.
fuck.
That
But
part's
yeah,
fine.
that's all cool, but
That part's fine.
it's just ladies, optimal. If you want to do steroids, just try to take some Anavar and a little bit of, or if you're going to not take Anavar, take a small 5-10 milligrams of test. Get it from a doctor. Take your levels tested. Don't just take something that your friend told you to take.
It's definitely a short-lived lifestyle for the women. Sometimes.
Women, man.
Oh,
if you're looking
here.
to if you're having kids, don't do that either.
Yeah, that's gonna.
But no, back to this thing. Just take optimal levels of steroids. Don't take too much. Don't overdo it. Test SIP's fine. That's all you need.
That's all you need. That's going to be it for today's episode.
Yeah.
Man. It was good catching up with you. I missed talking to you.
Yeah, bro. I know, dude. We're living that busy dad lives. And
I know, man. I know. But getting all these, hands in the cookie jar everywhere, it's fun.
Everywhere.
Man, I cannot wait to go to Ohio. Man, I'm just going to wait. When I get there, I'm going to post all about it. But I'm just
You're going to have a blast.
It's going to be fucking fun. Some cool shit I've been hearing about. Animal's really good.
Oh, yeah.
I love them to me.
It's going to be wild.
I appreciate you guys listening.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for the support.
Join us again for the next episode here. Send us any questions that you want us to address and go over. We definitely don't mind answering any question.
Yes, feel free.
So make sure you subscribe on our podcast for iTunes, Spotify, and even Anchor as well. So that way, whenever we do post this up, you don't have to worry about missing an episode. And now we're going to be on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Video episodes.
Yes.
Also, we do have
join us.
The 8-week Power Builder program that's still open, and we have the 8-week deadlift program that's on as well too. Those are on my site. That's worldbreakersavage.com. And for any coaching inquiries, you can hit us both up at worldbreakersavage and coach_dubs242.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, are you going to go to Ohio? Are you going to Ohio with me?
We don't know yet, so it's up in the air.
All right. Well,
I know.
We'll see you guys in the next episode.
All right, guys. Later.
Peace.
Calling you the opening act is a weak metaphor. It's much more like you're just the appetizer. That's right.